So you're starting and you're watching Drag Race US.
Mhm.
When did you hear about the UK? Like, do you remember that moment where you figured out that they were gonna be casting for it?
Oh my god. So I used to be a host of a club night called Glitter Bomb. It's not Glitter Box in Ibiza, a very different event. And they would pop up in these university towns. And I had a resident gig at the Cambridge University town. And we were driving back. So I would drive to all my gigs
Mhm.
in full drag. I would literally slap my face on, sit in a car and drive for an hour and a half. And we were driving back. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning and there was an article on Twitter saying RuPaul's Drag Race UK is coming to BBC. Casting will open soon. And I went, well, I've got to do it. And this was like 2018. So I was only 2 years into drag. I was still so green. And like in hindsight, the balls and the audacity to me to go, yeah, I could do that. Like nonchalant, like,
Yeah.
throw my hat in the ring. But I didn't go, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get on. I just said, what will be, will be. So I threw my tape in and I was actually moving into my first ever place outside of our parents' house with my now husband, Hayden. And we were moving a wardrobe into the van. And that's when I got the call for the first round. And I literally was like, nobody leaves a I don't know whether it's a US thing or a UK thing or both, but do people leave voicemails here?
Yeah.
Okay, nobody leaves a voicemail in the UK unless it's serious. So I will always call someone. If I don't get through, I'll
Then you
drop
hang out.
them a
Yeah, yeah.
message. But it was a phone number I didn't have saved and then a voicemail. I knew instantly what it was. And they were like, this is from Drag Race UK. We'd love to chat with you. And I was like, bye. You can all move all the shit by yourself. I'm going in. And it was just such a surreal moment that I didn't fully process until the whole thing was over.
Mhm. I mean, that's iconic. First season, UK, you get on. Like, what was even going through your mind?
Well, we'd had Drag Race Thailand
Mhm.
with Pangina and Art. So we knew what could happen from an international franchise, but this was with Rue. And we wasn't sure what direction it was gonna go in, whether it was gonna be like a brand new show that wasn't really like Drag Race, but was Drag Race for the UK.
Mhm.
And going into it, not knowing what the workroom would look like, not knowing what the challenges would be, not knowing what anything would be, I would relive that day after day after day if I could, because that pure excitement
Mm.
was euphoric. Like I cannot even describe it. If I could bottle it and sell it, I'd be a millionaire. And trust me, I would love to be. But it was so exciting. I remember standing outside the workroom, ready to walk in for my entrance, and they showed me a picture and they went, "This is going to be your mark. Make sure you hit this little star here at the end." And I looked at that picture, and I like audibly gasped because I saw the workroom for the first time, and it was everything and more. Like, no shade to the US, but they had printed fabric for their walls for the
Mhm.
workroom. We had brick. We had production. I was like, "Thank you, BBC," because you could have gone
Yes.
tight and you could have gone cheap, but you pulled out all the stops. And like, I'm so glad they did because it really paid off how incredible season 1 was.
It was incredible. I remember, I mean, yes, there was Drag Race Thailand, but, like, Drag Race UK was the first one that I was, like, fully enthralled in. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my goodness, this is something crazy. This is something new." And you girls brought it. Every single one of you brought it. And that it you guys were your own individual people, your own like, it was iconic.
Well, we had nothing to lose.
Mhm.
We were literally I was one of 10 selected for this huge opportunity. And it was an honor, and we were all so excited. None of us came in with pretenses like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a record deal after this," or "I'm gonna make millions in brand deals and whatnot." none of us came in. We came in because we wanted to be there, and we
Mhm.
were so excited to be there. I think no shade to some of the queens that come in now, but you see the queens that come in going, "I wanna get 500K Instagram followers." I'm like, "Girl, you should be doing this opportunity, you should be doing drag because you
That's what
have
you wanna do.
such a
Yes.
passion for it." And I think I see a lot of younger queens that do this because they think they can get on Drag Race.
Mhm.
If you're only doing drag to get on Drag Race, I'm starting to be like, "Why are you doing it?"
Yeah.
Because Drag Race shouldn't be your only goal. It's a huge goal,
Yeah.
and it's a huge opportunity, and I am so blessed to have been on it. But if I didn't make it on season 1 or 2 or 5 or 6 next year, I'd still be doing drag.
Exactly.
I'd I'll still be putting in a tape every year in the hopes that I got on because my drag career would still be going
Mhm.
if the TV show wasn't there or not, because I would be doing gigs for 20p or 200, you know? It's you do it because you have a passion.
You walk into the workroom. Did you know the girls? Any of them?
Look, you hear whispers of who's gonna be there
Mhm.
always. Like, it's so hard, especially in the UK, it's so hard because we are a very, very small country. Some of the smallest states are still bigger
Mhm.
than our entire country, and everybody knows everybody, whether you've met them or not, you've heard of them, and I was so excited to see who was in there already,
Mhm.
and we were all in holding rooms ready to go in for the first day, and I could hear something wrong in the room next to me because there is no mistaking that voice, and I could hear her cough as well. Like the poor girl, she coughs like there's no tomorrow. You hear, "Ah, ah, ah," and I'm like, oh god, here she goes. But I knew it was her. So to turn to my left and see all the divas there, I hadn't met Davina and I hadn't met Blue, but me and Blue had interacted because we both knew we were all going to be there.
Mhm.
And I'd worked with Bagger lots and I'd worked with Something lots. So it was just so excited. And Crystal, we were really coming up, like I remember coming up in the scene and just looking up to Crystal because she was such a pioneer of the
Yeah.
East London scene that it was just so exciting. But the one I was so excited for was Scaredy Cat because
Yes.
she walked in and I wanted it like the US. I wanted it where you find out who they are, all their backstory and everything, instead of being like, "How you doing, girl? So lovely to see you." And I was like, "Who the fuck is this girl?" And I thought it was just another queen that painted really shit for like a reveal or
Yeah.
something. I was like, "Oh no, that's just her makeup." But don't you can't knock her. She was only 2 months into the game.
Hey, and she got on.
I mean, that is nerve. That is
That's
absolute, and I watched her audition tape, and I was like, "I would have made you the winner from this tape." It was incredible. I was like, "How the fuck did I get on if this is what everybody's tapes were? What did
where
I
is
have
she
to do?"
now?
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows.
Don't know. She's still in our group chat. She still replies, but I'm not sure what she's up to. Last I heard, she was doing tattoos,
Of her
which,
face in drag.
yeah.
Um, so you're on the show. I believe that you were the first girl to get critiques. Were you?
Yes. Oh my god. The absolute PTSD of it. Oh, I'm I'm shitting myself just already thinking about it. Yeah, I was the first ever girl to get critiques. And I remember standing there and be like, how is this gonna go? And I looked down the line and I was like, am I the bottom? And yeah, I was in the bottom. I just remember being like, they said to us, give so much energy, give all your energy. And I was so pumped because I hadn't really been sleeping because I was nervous and excited.
Mhm.
So I had like an IV of Red Bull in me. Like I was buzzing. I just remember being like, just be you, have fun, and make them laugh. And somehow I did that
You did a
ish.
you did a good job of it.
Well, thank you.
And you call yourself a lot of times you say mediocre.
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Because on the start of episode 5, I literally went, "I'm ready for another week of me doing mediocre," and it's just like it became a meme. Everybody was retweeting it every Monday morning. People have it, like, printed in their offices on their desk, and I was like, "If there's one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap into branding."
Yes.
So, look, I always say I'm the mediocre queen because if you set your standards here, the only way is up. So, whenever people see me, "Oh my god, you look gorgeous!" Thank you, because they think the standards are here, so they're always here.
Hey.
If they think my performance is gonna be here, it's gonna be there when they actually see me. So, look, call yourself mediocre, kids. It's fine because
That's smart.
the only way is up, baby.
You mentioned some of your iconic cast that you had. You had Davina, you had the Vivian, you
Yes.
had, Baga, you had so many great girls. Um, who did you think was going to win once you left?
So by the time I left, it was the top 3. All 3 of them had 3 wins each. All 3 of them had destroyed near enough every single challenge. Even if they weren't in the top, they were like, safe. I mean, you could say some of them didn't do too well, but, I just couldn't call it. I genuinely think they would have done a three-way lip sync if Bagger didn't throw the towel in and be like,
Mm,
"Give it to the other girls. I'm good. I'm fine. I've had the greatest time." I'm like, I genuinely think Bagger could have won as well. It was any of their
it
game.
really was.
I mean, walking in the first day, I remember writing in my journal, I remember going, I think the top 3 is gonna be me, the Vivian, and Blue. Just straight off the bat, that's what I thought. Didn't go too well for me.
Hey, you were right there.
I s I don't know whether anybody has got a worse track record. They probably have now, but I remember at that time, I had the worst track record of low, 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 safe, low, bottom 2,
If
elimination.
it makes you feel any better, when I was researching you, you are not the lowest. The lowest
Oh,
is
okay.
actually Roxy Andrews.
Or what, on All Stars 2? Wow. Well, Roxy, I'm proud of you. Um, I just remember being like, the fact I made it to top 4, sailing on by each week, just being like, "Okay." But I actually wanted to lip sync more.
Yeah?
I wanted to be like, "That's where I come alive. That is what I do. This is who I am. I'm Cheryl Hall, and this is my stage." Um,
Mhm.
but I was like, every week, I was like, "Put me in the bottom, please. Please. Nobody's gonna send me home. Please. Please. Let me lip sync to this song." Because we had some great lip sync songs. Because again, we didn't know if it was just gonna be like any song.
Yeah.
Everything was British. And that's what I love because we're celebrating everything that our country has to offer.
Mhm.
And you know, Michelle, she'll call herself an Anglophile, whatever it is, and she's got that British tattoo on her leg. She's letting those divas know that she's a quintessential Brit. So she knows all these songs. Rue knows all these
Mhm.
songs. I think that my favorite thing is seeing Rue dancing along to all and lip syncing along. Rue knew every single word to Call My Name. Every single even breath. I was, like, performing, but also performing to the judges. So I
Yeah.
was watching them. I was like, "There's Cheryl, there's Rue," and I'm like, "What is going on right now?"